Hey there, this is Lee from Play Guitar Academy. I help frustrated guitar players get back to getting better at the guitar. This is welcome back to the Guitar Week. This is for players who put the guitar down for a while. Now they're picking it back up. They want to have a whole lot of success with the guitar. I've got some really helpful tips for you. And this one is all about understanding patience versus payoff. There are two sides of it. What is patience versus payoff? So when you do something over and over and you don't see immediate results, but you're still confident that someday you will see the results, you have a healthy patience versus the payoff. How long are you going to have to do this thing before you see the results? How patient do I have to be before I'm awesome at this? It doesn't work like that. That's not the way this works. I hear that here's what I get all the time, especially from new students and from students who usually it's a student who hasn't even really started yet, but they just have decided I'm going to be great. They'll ask me, how long is it going to take for me to be good at the guitar? And that's usually what happens. My eyebrows go. Well, that's tough to say, right? Because it's not cut and dry. This is not easy. If this was easy, everybody could do it if they wanted to. What makes it special is it's not easy. That's what makes the people who are musicians a little bit, I'm not saying different, but these are people who are willing to delay gratification till later, put their time in, put their hours in. So we've got there, how long is it going to take for me to be good at guitar? And that we start to talk about time. And here, when you teach somebody and they have all the parts down, they have everything they need, right? So this person who's coming to me asking you this, they say, I want to know if I do this, I'll be good, right? Here's where it doesn't work out so good. When you teach somebody and they have all of the parts down, they have all the skills they need to play something, could be a song, could be a lick, could be whatever. Sometimes, in fact, most times, it takes some more time for the player to be able to mix all of those skills together, to process the information. Because just being able to have these skills, be able to play the rhythm, and be able to move from chord to chord or remember these scale patterns, even though you can do all these things and have to do them at the same time, processing that information and being able to perform this complex task of different skills at the same time without having to think about it. Like driving a car. You're dealing with some serious stuff when you're driving a car. Every time you get behind the wheel, you're dealing with some serious thing. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of parts that you don't even see. Things that are happening in the guitar in the car that you're in control of. And we went for a drive yesterday to enjoy the wonderful pandemic views, people going into Burger King and sitting down and all those things. We drove around yesterday. I don't remember once thinking about driving the car, but I drove all over town. Why? Because I spent my time over and over and over again to the point where all of the skills that I use to drive a car, I got to the point where I didn't have to think about it anymore. And with guitar, when you can get to that point, and it does happen, I guarantee you it does happen. When you can get to that point, you're in a good place. And that takes us, so we think about all the things we do with the guitar. We think about the physical parts. We were just talking about pain in between the sections, talking about wrist pain and all those things. There's a lot of physical parts playing guitar. But really, with guitar, it's mostly mental. Even the physical things that you do on the guitar are affected by your mental state. how you approach this. If you're negative and you want to get these things done and you're tense while you're practicing, right? You might tense up some of these little tiny wrist muscles, and it maybe not even to pain, but you might be fighting yourself. Where if you were loose, right, and you're playing legato, you're playing a legato section. The looser you are, the better. I remember Eric Johnson in one of his instructional DVDs was talking about shoulders and posture, and not hunch, being so tight, which a lot of people are, because they know, why that happens? Because you're about to do something that's not easy and you're getting ready for it. And that's maybe not the best way to hold yourself when you play the guitar. And that's controlled mentally. The decisions that you make affect the physical playing of the guitar. So getting to that point where mentally you can get past the worry and get to the point where, and this is important, the journey is good enough. That's it in a nutshell. The journey is good enough. Say I have a bad gig. Is it going to get me down? I might be mad for a little bit. And then I shake it off as I'm going home. Why? Because it's another step in my journey. I can learn something from that. Maybe I blew an opportunity. Maybe somebody important was there to hear me play and I just stunk it up. Well, you know what? There'll be other times. The journey is good enough. And maybe I'm at the end of my playing, where I've been playing for a while, and maybe those opportunities aren't so important to you anymore. Maybe just the playing is good enough. Maybe you're to that point where the journey is good enough. That's where we're trying to get to. That I'm either a guitar player or I'm not. And that's the two sides of it. So if I'm a guitar player, good or bad, I'm the guitar player, and that's what I want to be, and that makes me happy. Hey, thanks so much for watching the video. Head on over to playguitaracademy.com/chord guide. That's my guide to clear sounding chords. If you're starting back up again in chords where you're struggling point, this will really help you make sure that you make all the small adjustments to make it come out clear every single time. I appreciate you liking and subscribing the video, and check out the other videos in this series. I'll see you soon.